This video clip focuses on the grassland biome and consists of 3 screencasts. The study material is accessible from Science Direct. The topics of the 3 screencasts are: Screencast 1, the history and scope of Southern African grasslands. Screencast 2, the factors affecting species composition, species richness, and structure of the various landscapes of the grassland biome. Screencast 3, the various threats to the grasslands of Southern Africa. Southern African grasslands form part of the World Temperate Grassland Biome, which comprises the steppes of Russia, Mongolia, and China, the North American prairies, the South American pampas, temperate grasslands of Australian Alps, and the tussock grasslands of New Zealand. When defining the grassland of Southern Africa, the following definition refers: herbaceous vegetation dominated by the family Poaceae, with various other fob and dwarf woody species in between. Grasslands are diverse in terms of species, composition, and vegetation structure. They have a relatively high canopy cover and biomass production compared to woodland plant communities. The average annual rainfall of Southern Africa grassland areas ranges between 250 and 900 millimeters, depending on the region. The summers are wet, followed by a dry winter period. Summer temperatures are warm, up to 38 degrees Celsius, and the winters cold, sometimes as low as 4 degrees Celsius, with frost and snow a common occurrence. The grassland biome of Southern Africa comprises 28% of the land surface and is the second largest biome after the savanna biome. The grasslands occur mostly on the high central plateau, also known as the Highveld region, the mountainous inland areas of KwaZulu-Natal, and extends to the central parts of the Eastern Cape province. These include both warm temperate and cold temperate grasslands. In the high-lying altitude mountainous areas of the Maluti-Drakensberg range, subalpine grasslands are present. Ecosystem modifiers that have an impact on the grassland biome are fire, climate, grazing, and biodiversity. The first modifier that we will discuss is fire. The grassland biome of Southern Africa has a high lightning strike density, making the incidence of fire a regular occurrence in these ecosystems. Although fires are naturally caused by lightning strikes and, in rare instances, by rock falls, anthropogenic fires have become more prevalent in Southern Africa. Fire is in most cases beneficial to the ecosystem, and the plants and wildlife occurring in fire-prone areas are adapted to these conditions. Fire plays an important role in maintaining the grassland structure and species composition. Regular fires in grasslands are regarded as the main cause of abrupt boundaries between grassland and forest, since it inhibits the establishment of seedlings of woody species in the grassland areas. Natural fires occur mostly from the late winter to early spring within the summer rainfall areas. The fire intensity is dependent on the amount of fuel available, the fuel moisture, air temperature, and wind speed. Direct impacts of fire depend on the type of plant species and organism. In cases where the plant species or wildlife is not adapted to fire, they will likely be killed. When fire removes vegetation cover, more light is available that stimulate grassland geophytes to grow and flower before the grasses resprout or recover. Regular fire in grasslands also kills seedlings of woody plants encroaching into these areas, thereby maintaining the grassland species composition. Incorrect burning strategies, continuous overgrazing, and general mismanagement of grasslands result in a loss of vegetation cover and a change in species composition. The consequence of these actions result in a larger evapotranspiration and therefore loss of water from these ecosystems. The incorrect use of fire could cause ecosystem degradation that results in a loss of plant species, erosion, decreased water infiltration, as well as woody species encroachment. In southern Africa, fire is used as a management tool in natural areas as well as cultivated grasslands to maintain or enhance grazing. One of the most common practices of fire in land management is to use fires regularly to prevent accumulation of dry material that could cause high-intensity wildfires. The second modifier that we will discuss is climate. Grasses are well adapted to cope with cold temperatures as well as overgrazing. Grasses are dormant during the dry winter season, which allow them to withstand frost and even snow. Grasslands are regarded as event-driven, resilient ecosystems. During drought times or as a result of overgrazing, the grass biomass is largely reduced, resulting in a greater visibility of perennial forbs and dwarf shrubs. However, during high rainfall events, the grass layers recovers rapidly with a significant increase in biomass and less visibility of the perennial forbs and dwarf shrubs. The third modifier that we will discuss is grazing. Grasses are well adapted to being defoliated due to their meristematic tissues, which is responsible for the growth of plants. If the above-ground leaf material of young leaves is removed, the plant will continue to produce new leaf material. Grazing of grasslands affect the plant species composition and production of the grass plant. The stocking rate of livestock and wildlife in grassland areas are currently 6 to 20 times higher than before humans settled in these areas. This is one of the main reasons for the decline in grass production and change in species composition of grassland vegetation in southern Africa. Overgrazed grassland areas are also prone to woody species encroachment, which not only causes a shift in species composition, vegetation structure, but also a loss in valuable grazing land. Grazing is, however, a natural phenomenon of healthy grassland ecosystems in order to maintain the vitality of grass plants. The fourth modifier that we will discuss is biodiversity. The grassland biome of southern Africa contains more than 640 red-listed species, of which 136 are threatened by extinction, while 6 are already extinct. Of these red-listed species, only 9 are grass species. A total of 34 grass species are endemic to the southern African grassland. In addition, there are 161 orchid species found within the grassland biome. In terms of animal species, the grassland biome provides suitable habitat for large mammals with hooves, birds, insects, and amphibians. Mean species richness per 1,000 square meters for selected biomes of Southern Africa is depicted in this figure. The three main threats to grasslands are urbanization, agriculture, rural settlements, and mining. The spread of alien invasive plants. Connectivity between different landscapes in the grassland biome. Urbanization causes the establishment of impermeable surfaces, landscape fragmentation, habitat loss, and a loss in natural resource pathways and biodiversity. Most grassland areas are prime land for agricultural practices such as grazing and planting of crops. The largest concentration of agricultural practices is conducted within the grassland biome. Compared to the rest of Southern Africa, the grassland biome is the most impacted and therefore under threat. The spread of alien invasive plants threatens the diversity and functioning of natural ecosystems. These alien plants can outcompete the natural grassland vegetation, thereby displacing the natural species of the area. That leads to a loss of diversity and habitat for many plant and animal species. Alien plants also use more water than indigenous grass species and contribute to the drying up and degradation of the land. Connectivity between different landscapes in the grassland biome is hampered due to different land use practices such as planting of crops, mining, urbanization, and afforestation. This has had a negative impact on the grassland species composition, richness, and general vegetation structure. The farming practices in Southern Africa, where fences have been erected to manage the land use, has also largely contributed to the loss of connectivity between grassland landscapes and their associated wildlife. Please use the information in this video clip to answer Activity 3 in Lesson Plan 1.